saying the ring as well, that RFID. And so right now, we currently just have a 4,000 gallon here on site that we use. And then obviously, I have met with Alon, which is our current supplier for fuel for our fleet, our vehicles, 7-Elevens or whatnot. Met with her. She was redoing a proposal for us. We met with WEX, which is another supplier. WEX we could use nationwide, and various gas stations, Circle K's, Shells, Chevrons. I mean, those guys are universal. So they're putting a proposal together to quote us a price, and it should be lower than pump price. That'll be a savings as well.
Hey, what about purchasing direct from the refinery? I never heard that as a possibility, but maybe you investigated that, Chad?
Yes. We spoke about that. So with the possibility of getting a 12,000 gallon tank on site, the transport is 7,500 gallons. So Pat yesterday told us, if you can get a full transport, they'll be more than happy to deliver to you. So like a 10,000 or 12,000 gallon, we're gonna get some quotes, and that way they come directly from the refinery. He said, Pat said there should be at least 50 cents to $1 savings per gallon if we could buy directly from the refinery. So yes, we are exploring that as well.
I would have thought it'd been more than that, but that's great. So.
Yes, and we went through about, I tallied up the reports before I went to that expo, and we went through about 175,000 gallons of fuel last year. And
that's combined with diesel?
That's combined diesel and gas. So if it's $1, I mean, that's $160,000 of savings, which is tremendous.
Yeah, no, that's a lot of savings. I was just thinking the markup from the refinery to the dealers, I would think is more than $1, but
it might be.
But I don't know. Is it possible to talk to Western Refinery and get them to do something like that?
Yes, absolutely. We just need to have the tank, the storage. Right now, we need to order a full tank.
Yeah. But you can get bids from the different refineries, of course, we're in El Paso, but there are, Midland, Odessa, and all that may do the same thing.
Exactly.
I guess, is the Texaco one? No, that's all the same now. There's only one refinery, right, in El Paso?
I think it's Marathon. It's changed to Marathon now. It was Giant, it was Western, and then Giant, Western Refinery, Giant, and now it's Marathon. But yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we would go, I guess, with the Opus and the BRAC, and I guess check on all that, and yeah, but he says, it changes daily, and he said it's cheaper to purchase gas on Monday than it is Thursday or Friday. Yeah, this Pat guy was pretty interesting. He had a lot of knowledge.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, that's a good thing to go to those kind of things. You really learn a lot that could be beneficial, and when you do the math, it comes out like it sounds like to me, but it's going to come out to sounds very interesting.
Yes, we hope. We're waiting on some quotes from the insurance, the permitting and all that. The fact that it's above ground, I mean, it doesn't require a lot of permitting as opposed to underground. But hopefully the quotes to have the storage, the tanks on site, and we got to do some concrete aprons to set the tanks on and whatnot. But so hopefully we can get all that information in, and then we'll bring it to you.
Right, yeah, you do the math, but I mean, you got to jump through all the hoops legally and all those permits, like you say, which is not all that simple, but
right.
It's a one-time deal basically. So.
Right. So
we're going to need more than one tank, though, right? Because one's gas and one's for off-road or dyed diesel, I guess.
So the 12,000 has got two 6,000 gallon tanks. So they're split. But so we're discussing that. I mean, having the dyed, and so we're going to do the ratio. We obviously use dyed significantly more than the regular, and then gas. Gas being more flammable. I guess we'll see what the insurance comes back at for having a gas tank on site. So we'll determine all that as we get the quotes from the insurance, and because I think right now we pay $10,000 a year for the one tank we have here.
Yes.
Is that right? About 10,000 a year is the policy.
The policy,
Yeah.
pollution policy.
And it's diesel, so it's a 4,000, so I'm not sure if that increases with an amount of gallons, and I'm sure it'll be significantly higher for gas. It's more flammable than diesel, so We'll see what we get from the insurance, and then we'll go from there, and we'll bring it to y'all.
TCEQ comes by every few years too, and
Right.
gets some sort of a cut.
Yes.
Because I got a 10,000 gallon tank on my farm.
Yes, they come.
And we used to use Chevron back when they were in business, and I get transport loads. And so that's, Charlie Ingalls years ago, Johnny, when he found out I was doing that, said, well, if you'll take that much, Art, I'll give you the same price they'll give you. So
Yeah.
Charlie Eagle, you sell it to me the same price. As long as I take that about 8,000 gallons is what we use.
Right, and we,
That's what I'm talking about. I thought there's probably a bigger markup than that. So there had to be for Charles to be able to do it, buying it from a refinery than what you were doing. But I mean, it's whatever it is, presently that you have to deal with. It's not like a great idea to me, but do you have to also, probably have to also get permission from the city of Clint to do that?
yes, that's the local fire marshal. So yeah, we and you know, being in the jurisdiction in town of Clint, we need to go through them, and then the EM,
Yes.
the local
CSA.
ESA, the local fire chief. Yeah, so we'll need to get all that coordinated and make sure we're compliant with whatever we need to provide them. Yes.
And the big deal is gonna be that insurance.
Yes, so we're waiting on the gas. I think, you know, it's 10,000 for a year for this 4,000 gallon tank we have now. So we reached out, so we're waiting on some quotes. Yesterday we talked with the vendor, and so they got 12,000 and 10,000 gallon, and they also have some tank monitors they talked about that traces, you know, the level of the tank, and it measures what goes in. So when they come, the transport does come in, and you know, you pay for 7,500, you're receiving 7,500. So yeah, it was pretty good meeting yesterday. So
Okay, sounds great, Jay.
Out on the farm, tank monitor is a stick.
yeah, that's what we got now. That's what we're doing. It functions. It functions, but yeah, just haven't simplified it. That's what we do.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
That's the only one that's really accurate, I promise.
There you go, there you go.
True. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see, Jay, you want to take some other stuff here in a little bit, right?
Yes. Yeah. We
All right.
talk about it.
Al, you want to say anything right now? You're next in line.
Oh, I got good news, so I'll be, you guys ready?
Okay, we're ready.
Ready for good news.
So, this water year, we've had 853,000 acre feet have flowed into the reservoir that are available for allocation to the districts. It's coming in at about 2,000 acre feet a day right now. It's just now starting to drop off from some peaks that were pretty high. There's 116,000 acre feet that's being stored in Abiquiu and Cochiti. It's being moved to Cochiti. It'll be released in November and December to be transferred. We think almost all of that, if not all of it, will make it down there. So that's another 100,000. So now we're up to about 952. And there's at least 50 to 100,000 more runoff that's going to show in. So it's going to put us, in all estimates, it's going to put us over 1 million in this. The water year goes from November 1 to November 1. And we do our final allocation October 31st. So there's going to be, that'll be before we get the water from Abiquiu, but there'll be still quite a bit of runoff between now and then to allocate. So we're gonna, all indications are that we're about, I had predicted 910 back in, when we first started talking about this in April, and it looks like it's closer to 1 million.
Good.
So,
That's
so we have,
wonderful.
you know,
Well, it's good news. That's the first time in 100 years you said all that stuff.
we'll have a full allocation next year, and we're almost there. It's almost in storage this year, and maybe we'll get some monsoons too.
Yeah, well, El Nino's in place, so
That's right, we hope.
you never know though. I mean, just because it's there doesn't mean it's gonna do anything for us. But
That's right.
it'll have effect on the weather somewhere.
I mean, we're going back to a normal construction schedule, because we have to actually, tell people those numbers now for this coming up season. So we're targeting, and you guys obviously make the decision when we get there, but we have to tell people now. So we're targeting March 15th for the first water in the system.
Great.
Right. Well, they need to know, our constituents need to know what's coming, so.
The only thing better, Al, would be that you're telling me that's gonna be there for next year at the start. It's not, but we're gonna be pretty close, right?
We'll have a full allocation next year. You'll be able to make an allocation in January.
Yeah.
And we're targeting water being released by March 15th, maybe before March 15th to arrive, depending, obviously that decision has to be made at the time to see if we have the demand, but we're enforcing completion of construction in any of our facilities has to be out 2 weeks prior to March 15th.
Very good.
Well, so I can say, I think this is the beginning of Jay's tenure at the district, as Pfeiffer delivered 24 years of full supply, so Jay, you're on.
All right, we're 1 for 1.
You're off the clock.
Next year's in the bag, so you're 2 for 2, so you just got, 22 more years.
Yeah,
18 more years.
You got it.
there you go.
But you could beat his record and make it 25,
That's the goal.
All right, well, good news. Pete, how about you got some good news?
Well,
Huh?
we're fixing whatever we want to work on.
Okay.
Do you want, you want to run the PowerPoint, Al, you're sharing your screen, right? Or you want me to put it on I can put it here, whatever.
Go ahead and put it on here, I'll stop the share and you can share.
Okay.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning.
So right now, finally got my guys back that I had working out at nights with assisting Robert with the water, so.
With what's his name? I saw that.
I got back there. So, so my guys are coming back. We are concentrating a lot this past month on the turnouts and a lot of the drains. Our drains have kind of gotten kind of overgrown. I'm pretty sure you guys have seen them out there.
Down at Torneum, yeah.
Yes. So that's the machine that we purchased, the one Miguel was speaking about earlier. That's the
Hey Jay, can you show me what he's got on the screen? I can't see it.
Okay, you can? Okay, let me.
Is that a new one, Pete?
It's brand new, it's a 2024.
Let me share the screen.
It's a 2024 Volvo.
Hold on, Pedro. Does your mouse work, Pete?
It's, oh, I'm sorry, I put it up.
Oh, I see. Is it there?
Yeah.
Let me plug it in. I think I unplugged it.
That's what that was.
Can y'all see it there, Johnny?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
On the top, on the side. On the side?
Thank you. Yeah, I can't see. I do with my glasses, I can't see.
Because it's dark.
Okay.
Hold on, Pedro. Hold on. Give me a sec. Let me start the PowerPoint.
Okay, so we had 2 of these prior to purchasing this one. The last one, I think, must have been a little over a year ago. Caught fire. The undercarriage caught fire. I think had something to do with the transmission, and so it came out to where it wasn't feasible to repair it. That was first of all. Second of all, we couldn't find parts to repair it.
And it was 1 year old?
No. It was already like maybe 20 years old.
Oh.
No.
You said you
I
bought
hope
it
not.
last year, it's like, what?
So we still had the machine back there, so being that we had 2 of them, we're using it as a parts machine now. So we just can't find parts for that other machine, and these are great, they're very heavy duty, they're very strong machines. They can pick up quite a bit of a load. You say when, Jay?
I think you're good. Is it working?
I don't know.
Yeah, I can see it.
I don't know.
I can switch it over.
Okay.
It's nice.
It's bigger the other way around.
That's pretty.
So this one here is actually, it's what they call a 3-piece, because it's got three different booms. It's got the dipper, the boom, and it's got another section on the back. Go to the next picture, Jay, see how it comes out.
Look at that.
Nice.
Okay, you can see that one closer to the cab. So that's a 3rd piece. And that last piece is designed to lock in place like for transport, or if you want to dig, like something that's, you want to level, that third piece in the back, a little closer to the cab, that will lock in place, and then you only control your moving your dipper. That's a new feature that came out of these machines. It is a Volvo 2024. And we actually, I think we budgeted 191,000 for it.
281. No,
I think it was 191, if I'm mistaken.
290.
no.
292, I'm sorry.
280, yeah.
292,000 for that machine. And under the buy board, we did get it for 281, so we saved $10,158 on it.
Impressive.
Yeah, yeah, nice machine.
Okay, and I'm gonna give you a couple of pictures of, these are the drains within the city of El Paso. This is over there by the Volsca area. You can tell it's, you can tell we're in a drought. Everything's pretty dry. Now, this is the section of the Montoya that we spoke about earlier that had to be pulled out. So this is the concrete that was pulled out. And so here we're removing it and using it in areas where we're having washouts and erosion around the head walls and the culverts and so on and so forth. There's a picture after we were done with it. So that's been completed. Again, some of our city drains. And then some of our drains out of the city limits. These are, most of these drains here that you're gonna be seeing in the next few slides are over in the Fabens and Tornillo area, which is an area that we haven't hit quite a while. And you can see the amount of water that's being.
It's important when you get all those drains working good down there now, because with the full season, water coming up, a full water season, we're gonna have a lot more return flow.
Right, yeah, and then I'm trying to hit the areas where we've got a lot of pecan trees, because I know it's not good for those pecan trees.
Yeah. Well, it's really not good anywhere, so it adds to the problem. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, looks good.
So this is the area over, this drain here, we gotta hit it at least once a year, once every 2 years, and I know Larry's very familiar with it. Because we visited that site before. But this is over by the Tiller Hanson, that's Mr. Bernard's Spence house, right there on the left.
That's the old Scott stream, right? Scott Roosevelt?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're cleaning it up pretty good, see how long it'll last before they start dumping trash on top of it.
Yeah.
Tell me another one that's really, really plugged up is that river drain.
Yes. Yeah, and also the Tornillo drain is real bad, and we're hitting the Tornillo drain right now also because we had a lot of backups on it. Then a couple of washouts. These unfortunately gopher holes coming from the field into our drains. So, and I had a question, I guess for some direction from the board. Previously, the way I've been handling these washouts is if a farmer has, or any water user has a washout into our drains, that's apparently they're all coming from the field into our drain. I usually go out there and I'll repair it the first, maybe the second time at the district cost, but if it continues, then I start charging the farmer, or start telling the farmer that he needs to start repairing it. Do you guys want me to continue with that practice, or just go out there and just fix these drains?
Well,
They're usually at the same place, probably.
yeah,
Yes.
I think fixing them is pretty good, as long as, like you said, giving them a couple of chances, because a lot of times it is something that farmer can come back and do,
Right,
and he won't do, but
right,
if it's, not too often, I wouldn't worry about it.
okay,
If
good.
it's like this, that's continuous, Yeah, then you say something to them.
Okay.
Remember, this happened to a neighbor of mine down there years ago. Remember, that's kind of how we handled it.
And that's the way I've been addressing it here for the past 20 years, and it's been working out.
Yeah, yeah.
It's usually caused by gophers, and I remember our senator, our mayor in El Paso couldn't imagine that much water could go through a gopher hole.
Right. No such thing as gopher hole, I believe he said.
Does it happen a lot, Pete, for you? Is it?
It's a constant problem during water season, yeah, because sometimes, it's just, you got these areas that are just got a lot of gophers, a lot of squirrels, and so I usually ask the water user to make a bigger border or a deeper border, and it usually helps, but yeah, this is a constant problem.
There are areas that there's even been those cement retaining walls poured down to 10 or 12 feet. Yeah, it still breaks out. There's some areas that it's just unforget how fixable. It just happens.
Yes.
And you can do everything in the world. If you put water on it, it may happen, so.
Yeah, it'll find its way through, and you're absolutely right.
Some of this costs because some of the ground is coming back into use. It hadn't been used in the last 10 years much.
Right, as you notice in the first couple of
exactly.
pictures, that the drain's completely dry.
Yeah.
Yeah, those problems don't happen when we don't have water.
Okay, so this is another one of our drains down in Tornillo. And we're also hitting, and of course, the drain mowers don't stop. We got them, we try to get them in there in the areas that we've gotten in there with the excavators or the brush cutters to where the branches are too thick to where I'm not gonna tear up those machines. This one's already gone through there with the mowers. Now I need to go back in there with an excavator and clean the channel out, get that water to run. These are over here in the Clint area, on the Mesa Drain and Mesa Spur. Then a couple of washouts, I believe this was on check 9, where water starts washing behind the concrete, and as you can see, the concrete's kind of old, so it starts washing behind the structures. So we'll go in there and,
Dry canals.
yeah. And that's what it looks like after we're completed with it. We'll still go back and put a little bit more riprap in there to keep it from happening again. And then this is the Franklin Canal where we dug it out. Robert really couldn't push the water through here, it was already too shallow, so we dug it out quite a bit. Last month I showed you some of the pictures of where we had dug it out and the amount of spoil we took out, and here we're just kind of leveling everything out to where we can drive these banks. This is over by the ponds. We actually had a border patrol agent fall in this area here, I guess about 2 months ago.
Yeah.
So we decided to go in there and put some rails to try to keep it from happening again.
Have we put any water in the ponds, Pete?
It's got water right now.
Right now?
In fact, Robert's been running 25 feet in there, Robert?
We try to do it at least, if not once a week, Larry, at least once a month, to keep the pond, the little canal soaked and wet, and keep the gophers out.
I actually got an email this morning on the level of the water already. Unfortunately, I didn't have time to put it in the PowerPoint, but yeah, water's starting to saturate and starting to accumulate. And then this is here at the tail end of the Bowman. This area here is kind of like a no man's land. I mean, it belongs to us, but there's nothing really back there. This is where the Bowman used to run past Carolina and past Giles. So over the years, I guess past 30 years, maybe 40 years ago, that Bowman now ends just right upstream from where you see that backhoe. So we're going back in there and cleaning that area up to maybe we can declare it surplus or something and get rid of it.
Yes, there's the resident, it's got like 2 acres or so.
Right.
It backs up, so
That property on the right-hand side.
on the right-hand side, and the Bowman runs through his backyard essentially, and it ends right at the entrance of his lot, and he's interested in purchasing it, so.
Yeah, so we're cleaning it up, see if maybe we can sell it.
There's no structures underground or anything, it's just a Bowman, it ends I guess with the development, it got cut back, because it used to cross
Right,
the street.
yeah, right there, there's a box check, and there's nothing beyond that point.
She was interested, but yeah, we're bringing it back for the designated surplus.
So any chance I get, I'll go in there and start cleaning up a little bit. This is on the Franklin Canal. This area here, we always accumulate a big berm. On this picture here, some of that berm has been removed already. This is over by where the old water control station used to be, in Favens, as you drive over to Favens, where the Franklin comes off of Alameda. And, so we're just out there removing these berms, and, we had a washout just downstream on the Mesa drain that maybe 20, 30 yards downstream from here, so we took the dirt out and covered up the washout. Then there's a new turnout, a new install. This is up there on the Montoya, and the Montoya lateral just upstream from, actually just downstream from Country Club, or Lindenberg, I believe it is. Now, this is a customer that bought that house there. They wanted the little turnout, because they're having trouble with their neighbors, so they paid for a new turnout, and that's the install after we were done with it. And then this is another one on the north side. As you can see, the pit wall's kind of gone on there already. So we then they replaced it with another used turnout and installed the wing wells on it. And then on the ponds, we're still doing some work on the ponds, time permitting. We still need to raise the banks in some areas, so any chance we get, we're going out there still hitting those ponds, just raising those banks. You can see the growth that I'm starting to get inside the pond. This is just, this is the pond that we had just cleaned out.
Go back one pic, or two pictures on.
Go back there?
Yeah, two.
Two pictures.
So that's closed, and it has all that much thread up there above the wheel, you notice that?
Yes, yeah, no, it was, this was, before they went out there and cut it off and painted the structure. Yeah, because that's cut off. We usually leave about 4 inches above it, and then the structure still needs to be painted.
Yeah, 'cause I've noticed sometimes they're like
Yeah, you
that,
can
and
see
some
it.
jerk will come and
Oh, yeah.
bend it, and you're ruined. Oh, okay.
There's the ponds again. These are the last few pictures, and some of the areas will raise the bank already. And then I have designated the water truck. So the water truck is out there daily saturating these ditch banks, because with these winds and everything else, those ditch banks dry up pretty bad, and we have gotten quite a few gopher holes on this ditch bank. That's all I have, gentlemen.
That's all? Very good work. Keep it up.
Thank you, sir.
No questions?
One little sidelight that I don't know if you all know or not, but Miguel's dad's dream of getting a border crossing in Thornhill has finally come to fruition after I don't know how many years, Miguel, 20 or whatever.
Right.
Mexico finally completed their road on the other side.
Finally,
Oh, really?
it's gonna come true. Get ready.
Oh, no. All right. Robert, said like Johnny Roberto.
What's that?
Or I said I was going to call his name like Johnny Roberto.
Just call him Rio Grande.
4-foot Robert.
Okay, Roberto.
Okay, like Al says, it's pretty good having good water, but the good water is also showing our weak points on the canal. Because I think this year, with us starting a little bit earlier, it seems like the demand has been a lot greater than it's been in the past. And it just seems like this year, the cotton and the pecan just got together and they decided to have parties.
It's the hot temperature.
Yes, and we just got through, I think, the second run. I think we got about 3 more good runs to hit. But we're getting there. To give you a little bit of comparison, acres 22 versus 23 were watered so far this year, 35,000 more than last year. And if you break it down between May, June, July, this year versus last year, we're covered about 28,000 acres. So we're, they're out there. We're irrigating a lot more acres this year than last year. I don't know how they did it, you know, but they're on top of us. We just got through with, we're finishing this last weekend with the post irrigation on the small tracks. We only got 6 more to go, but they're there. The good thing about it, we'll go to October. I just got from last week, Mexico was, came up, they were using 5, now they went up to 5.5, so they're using almost 200 CFS per day, but they're predicted to finish September the 30th. So they're gonna be on board with us almost all the way up to October, because we'll go all the way to October the 8th at least.
Yeah.
And with that in mind, like Al said, we got plenty of water, but we still gotta, we still try to keep a budget going. I think, you know, Al is still working on the deliveries, but I'm just going to basically raw deliveries to our headings. I think up to probably the end of July, we'll use somewhere like 100,000. And I'm thinking through the whole year, August, September, and October, we'll use another 100,000. So I think by the end of the season, we'll use about 200,000. And we'll have still a great number left over for next year.
200 from where we are now. Okay.
Yeah, so, you know, we'll be in good shape because of deliveries. It's been hot and the whole thing is gonna break up. And the other thing is, like always, we keep losing our man, but he keeps helping me out. But every day, you know, we just can't compete with old Midland down there. They just keep going.
Yeah.
But, you know, one guy came up last Friday and called Lisa, said, "Ya me voy." So he left. Didn't give the 2 weeks notice, he just left. But that guy, old Pete, you know, cast in for one of his men. He used to be a ditch rider, and he stepped right into play, so. He gave me one, but luckily, yeah, next week we'll be releasing 3 new ditch riders out there by themselves, so they're ready to go, so I just gotta train 2 more.
Oh, boy.
But we're going there. It's just been as far as men-wise, it's been a little tough, but we're getting there.
Well, the farmers are going through the same thing.
Got it?
Yeah.
And I'm realizing,
Everybody's going through that.
and I'm realizing that because this year it seems like I asked the farmers, I said, "Why are you all ordering water on Wednesdays and Thursdays?" Because we order water on Friday, and the water comes in here Mondays, and nobody wants water Mondays and Tuesdays. They can't find their man. Nobody shows up to work. So now what we're doing is, instead of ordering water on Friday, now I'm waiting to order it on Sunday, and it comes in Tuesday night for Wednesday.
Wow.
And we don't seem to get in trouble.
Wow.
So it works out pretty good. And the other thing we do is we cut it, no matter what happens Thursday, we'll cut 150 feet off the order. So we won't have abundance of water in here on Sundays after the small tracks. And again, it works out pretty good. Tornillo might get affected a little bit. But it affects them down there for maybe, you gotta play the roller coaster water with there. So with that, it doesn't spill, but you use it wisely. That's what it's all about. But it's worked out so far.
Good.
And that's it for me, guys.
All right. Well, you're doing a good job, Pete.
We're trying.
Robert, and I know how hard it is.
Thanks, Robert.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Real.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we have 6 new ditch riders, right?
So that's it, 6 of them?
6.
All right, let me
This
look.
year alone. So.
Guess what, we're gonna take a little break. Because Sharon needs to take a little break. So we got
Sharon needs to take a break.
5-minute break.